I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, May the 31st, brought to you in part by Toromox by Norbrook. Toromox Injectable offers producers flexible options when targeting external parasites with more dose consistency than a pour-on. Plus, it's dung beetle friendly. For more information, go to norbrook.com. The jury is still out. We don't know what the fat cattle market is this week. You're probably thinking that I'm talking about the jury that found our superior former president guilty of a string of misdemeanors that were turned into felonies by a biased DA and a biased judge. Of course, I'm biased too, so before you guys jump at me and start leaving all kinds of leftist messages on here, I'm totally biased. I'm conservative to the bone. And but I tell you what, when they use the judicial system in politics, that just does not seem right at all. And just it just continues to make me believe that everything is crooked anymore, to the bone, from one end of this country to the other. It's unbelievable. The things that we're seeing here and have seen for the last several years going on, but we don't know what the fat cattle market is, and the board was weak again on Thursday. They're saying that live cattle are overbought. I don't disagree that feeder cattle futures are overbought, because they're still trading at such a huge premium to what our current cash market is, but they are for August. So like I told you before, you can't pay a whole lot of attention to that. But the live cattle futures, they're saying they're overbought. Are they overbought when we're staring at a $7.50 basis and we're going to this spot month right now? I was asking a stock or commodity broker friend of mine that when they said overbought, and they said, well, the board doesn't pay any attention to cash or fundamentals, and that is the problem. And it seemed like that has just exacerbated since we got rid of the pits, and everything is completely on the computer, and the algorithms take over, and they just run this thing all over the place. We've got huge limit moves now. It is so risky that people are just scared of the board. They hate the board, and people within the industry hate the board, and they since everybody now knows that it has nothing to do with fundamentals. Now, your feeder cattle futures do meet up with cash, the cash index on the last trading day, but when we've got two full bastard months without any contract, and then we've got full August to catch up, they're going to jack with that thing all over the place. And like I said, it really doesn't make any sense to even look at it unless you still haven't protected yourself in these volatile times, and you need to find an LRP strike price, and you need to look whenever we occasionally have those big jumps in the market, and you need to run out there and do that. But we haven't seen even 5,000 cattle sell negotiated on a direct basis in the 5-area feeding region. The few cattle that we have seen sell in a brick and mortar auction have sold really well, higher than what our direct market is. But of course, your packers are waiting for the board to crash here on Friday so that they can buy cattle steady or lower. Whether that will or not, I don't know. They're probably going to contact their fund partners and those that they do business with and see what they can do to try to get the board to crash, because your packers are said to be in the red. I don't ever believe it when they're in the red. I've toured a lot of packing plants, and I see them pull a lot of things out of those carcasses for added value, and I don't think any of those things are figured in when we're just looking at straight up kill costs, box beef cutout values against the cost of cattle. So I don't believe any of that stuff. But we got fun things to look at today on the Feeder Flash. It is the last day of the month. We're going to do Punchy Picks and the Kids Corral picks. So you guys enjoy these. We had some really good ones this past month. We've already got a bunch pouring in for next month's contest. So we're going to first talk about the Kids Corral, and we're just giving these people credit on the cool Kids Corral picks that they've sent in. Their kids. In third place on the Kids Corral is Joe Strom, and got a picture of Mammy, and this is just a 3-year-old little girl here from Timberview Farms in northeastern Kansas. And look at the look on her face as she holds this tail for her older brother to band this bull calf. But I think that look on her face is just priceless there, and I think that's a cool Kids Corral pick. Second place in the Kids Corral is Scott Curtin. I don't know if that's the way you say that, but I'm thinking it's pretty close. But this is 6-year-old Paisley, and she is working like a big girl now. Look at her poking these cattle down the chute and helping out her family there, work those cattle, and you know, I raised my 3 daughters working cattle with me, and I think that is the best way to raise kids, and I think that is one of the main reasons that people do it, and I think it's one of the main reasons people should do it. It just teaches kids so much about life, raising cattle, breeding cattle, doctoring cattle, and handling them in a good animal husbandry way. But the number 1 Kids Corral pick for this month is Jared Patchner, and that's RJ over there holding a leg to help Brandon, Wyoming. And you look at the look on that kid's face now. He's a cowboy, and he's going to be a cowboy his whole life. I'm willing to bet it. But look at the look on his face, and I tell you what, holding a leg is critical when you want to get a fresh, clean brand on those calves. But now we're going to talk about the Punchy Pick of the Month contest, one of the funnest things we do here on the Feeder Flash, but we have fun every day on the Feeder Flash if you guys like to talk about cattle and about cattle markets and things. But the Punchy Pick of the Month, the winner each month gets, some cool stuff. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, caps, and all kinds of cool stuff from Beaver Feed Company in Beaver, Oklahoma, Beaver County Stockyards that we do all kinds of things with here on the Feeder Flash, and our good friends up there, Jeff Slatton and company up there. They do a good job, and we're proud to be associated with them. They got some really cool stuff. They got the coolest caps. The Watch Your Curves, the old school National Cattleman signs that used to be up all over the country in the back roads. They've got those on a cap and t-shirt. Those are really cool. And then, of course, the biggest part of the grand prize is your whole case of Fairpiece. Everybody needs to try that product. It's a revolutionary product that's changing a lot of things within this industry. It's scientifically proven, guys. But third place in this month's Punchy Pick is Michael Mitchell, and it's just a cool pick. It's a punchy pick of them driving cattle. He didn't give much more description than that, but I just love that pick, and I think it's something that should be printed off and put on the wall. But sometimes it's just a cool pick, and I thought Michael's pick was really cool there for third place. Second place in the Punchy Pick of the Month contest is Cody James, and this is her husband, also named Cody but spelt different, and Don, his brother, and they are fixing a broken leg on the calf, and that is one of the hardest things to do. You put, and sometimes you call a vet and they'll put a 200-pound cast on a 300-pound calf, and it doesn't work. But these guys knew what they were doing. They fixed this broken leg for this calf, and it happened in Narragansett, New Mexico, which I'm very familiar with there. Grew up in and around Narragansett, New Mexico. My dad bought a lot of cattle in that part of the country, and we went to plenty of shipments around Narragansett, Logan, and that area in New Mexico. But they said the calf's doing fine and will probably grow right out of that and go right on with the rest of the bunch. But the grand prize winner of the Punchy Pick of the Month contest is Brian Cummins from Canton, Texas. Now, I'm not sure which sale barn this is or if it's in Canton, Texas, but they've got an escapee and looks ornery, just judging by the breed type and the look on his face. But this I've been involved with some stuff like this, setting sale barns all my life. Several times I've been there where we've had an escapee get out in the crowd, get out in the seats, and everybody just scatters. Usually the best place to be when they get out in the seats is in the ring. But what I really like about this pick, and not that it's just that they have an escapee there, is the guy in the middle scratching his head and just thinking, and I know what he's thinking. How the hell are we going to get this thing out of here without hurting anybody or hurting the animal? So that was the best pick that I saw this last month, and congratulations to Brian Cummins from Canton, Texas there. And like I said, we've already got a bunch of picks pouring in for next month's contest. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. June live cattle futures are down 80 cents at 182.55. August was down 42 at 179.77. The market is over 190. Our last established market in the 5-area feeding region, negotiated direct basis, is over 190, and we've got late summer trading at 179.77, and just here tomorrow, June, at 182.55. That's your CME live cattle futures for you. The back months were down 32 cents to as much as 105. Feeder cattle futures for August, of course, they can go all over the place here for the next 2.5 months, but August feeder cattle down 117 at 259.07. September down $1.12 at 260.67. Your back months on feeder cattle down 37 to down $1.10. Talk about your grains for July. Corn up 1 3/4 cents at 450.5 a bushel. Beans are up 4.5 cents a bushel at 12.14 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 6 1/4 cents at 7.15 3/4. The little dab of fat cattle trade that we saw on Thursday did not establish a market. Like I said, the jury's still out. We don't know what's going to happen. Has way too much to do with how the board opens and trades through the morning here on Friday. But Iowa sold 800 head. They've only sold a few more than that for the whole week in Iowa, and they typically sell more middle of the week than the other areas. But live price in Iowa was 190, which is within the range of last week, but down towards the bottom end. And dress sales from 298 to 304, which covers a lot of last week's spread. Nebraska, 200 head on Thursday, 2,000 for the week. 190 is the only price of confirmed negotiated trade in Nebraska on Thursday. Kansas, 2,200, and they've only sold just a handful more than that for the whole week. But the live price, and that may have established the market in the Southern Plains, is mostly 186. There was a small deal there at 185, but it was largely 186, and that could set the market in the Southern Plains. I don't know. We don't see that much negotiated trade in the Southern Plains, so it's hard to say. Texas sold 1,400 on Thursday, and that's all they've sold for the week, and all their sales were at 186. And if there was significant more trade at 186 after 2 o'clock that didn't get turned in, then that might set the market in the Southern Plains. But I think the Northern Plains has a chance to be even higher than last week. Talk about your box beef cutout values. They were higher, but not much. Choice cuts up 42 cents at 314.04. Selects were up just 4 cents at 302.52. Your slaughter, can't compare it to last week because we had the Monday holiday, but 375,000 through 3 days of business this week is just 5,000 less than the same week a year ago, with the same holiday falling on Monday. We did have actual slaughter information come back 2 weeks late, of course, with your average dressed steer carcass weight at 921 pounds, That's down 2 pounds from the previous report. And this is the time of the year when we should have the lightest carcasses of the whole year, and it's 921 pounds, off just 2 pounds from the previous report, but 36 pounds bigger for the average dressed steer carcass than the same time a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, that's Dakota Moss, and he's located there in the exchange building at the Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City. He's got some new agents on here. Check them out. These guys are well versed in LRPs and risk management schemes to try to protect yourself. They're well versed in the cattle business. If they're closer to you and you feel more comfortable with them, call them by all means. I got some new agents there, and there's some changes that have just recently come out that Dakota Moss wanted me to kind of bring attention to. The biggest part of them is there are going to be no LRPs listed for cattle on feed day. So that's kind of curious, whenever they know how much the cattle on feed report can be volatile to the market, to the futures market. So now you can't even take risk protection out with an LRP on cattle on feed day. The other thing is that this is open season, guys, and I'm saying that because it kind of reminds you of if you're changing health insurance or something like that. You can make changes if you're not happy with who you're working with on your LRPs. You can transfer those in June, up through June, but that's it. That's the only time you can do it, guys. But if you would like to make a change on your LRPs and do your business with someone else, you can do that in the month of June, but you need to get after it. If you would like to change those to Livestock Risk Services, you can actually go online to livestockriskservices.com, and you can fill out an application right online there, and you can make that change online there, and give them a call there with whoever you'd like to talk to, whether it's Dakota or one of these agents listed here. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Thursday sitting at 250.26. That's down 69 cents compared to the end of the day on Wednesday. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index finally kind of caught up from the holiday lag and things, but still running a day and a half behind your real-time index, but sitting at 249.28. Let's talk about your big sales on Thursday. Winter Livestock in Pratt, Kansas had a really good sale. Had 2,700 head. Now, you know that I'm critical of the federal state market reporting in the state of Kansas. It's not the reporters' fault themselves. They just haven't been properly trained. But I'm not going to argue with the trend for a change. Feeder steers steady to $3 lower. And you might say, oh my gosh, everything's been higher. Well, no, not the way things have been happening the middle of the week there. And looked at your automated market report out of Pratt, and those bigger feeder steers going right on to feed were kind of steady to $3 lower. Now, what few stocker steers they had there weighing in the 6s and 7s, and there wasn't a lot of them, they were sharply higher, as much as $10 higher. But then the feeder heifers were $6 to $10 higher. The hell of it is, I think they were looking mostly at a few bunches of replacement heifers, but whether or not the reporter knows what replacements are or how to recognize those in an auction setting, that's one of the reasons that they're there, is to recognize this. But there was a few bunches of heifers in Pratt that were obviously replacements, but they called them fancy. So they're really not feeder heifers if they're replacements. They're replacement heifers. In fact, those heifers, they really sold good, and even on the average, including all the heifers, they averaged really well. There were 485 head of the 7-weight heifers in Pratt. They averaged 746 with a weighted average price of $241.15. Wow. Then the 8-weights averaged even higher than the 7-weights on the heifers. And like I said, I know of a few of those that were replacements. 341 head of 8-weight heifers averaged 828 at 241.45. That is only less than $4 back of what your 8-weight steers brought. So yeah, naturally a few of those, part of those that increased that weighted average were for replacements, and they get really good cattle there, and no doubt there's some people looking for some cattle to add to their breeding stock. Let's talk about your individual quotes from all around. How about Paris Stockyards in Paris, Kentucky? There were 68 steers, weighed 668 and bring 313 in Paris, Kentucky, guys. Wow. Been interesting to know whether those stayed local or if they got shipped out of that part of the country there, but I'm sure they would be stockers. How about Billings Livestock Commission in Billings, Montana? They sold 70 steers, weighed just 613, but bring 326. And those would be stockers staying there in that part of the country, but that's a heck of a good price for those. How about Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota? My friend Jared Herman there, he's running a good sale there, and also down in western Oklahoma. How about 61 steers, weighed 989? That's pushing $1,000 right there, guys. Bring 240 and a quarter. Wow. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Bluegrass Stockyard South in Stanford, Kentucky. It was 2 loads, 120 head of 828-pound steers, bring 260 and a quarter. I guarantee you they went to the Midwest or Northern Plains to feed. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.